Okay, guys, let's get into this. Welcome to the episode today. Let's have a conversation. Guys, just so you know, I'm feeling slightly under the weather. I'm a little bit down today. I'm still gonna do this because I love you guys. I'm still gonna come out here, put myself out there so that we can have a conversation about all the topics today. Now, I'm going to go into not much news, but I want to share my thoughts and opinions on some recent developments I've been seeing. Something I think we need to have a conversation about, and I'm sure other reporters or people in this space have had those conversations. But I want to give my 2 cents to it because I am a casual authority in MMA. Yes, I am, if I do say so myself. All right. Let's start first with Mr. Dana White and this whole Jon Jones is the GOAT fiasco. Over that, we'll transition into Paige Vanzant and her recent Power Slap debut. And then lastly, I want to share my thoughts on something that happened recently in the Jiri versus Alex Pereira rematch. Something that is very, it's very poignant and it's been on my mind for a bit. And I want to know what you guys think about this, right? So without further ado, I think we should just dig in. Let's dig our claws right into this. Okay, quick question. Is Jon Jones the GOAT of MMA? Many would argue that he is overall the greatest combat sports athlete of all time, or at the very least, the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. We could use several criterias, right? Several variables to consider. We could say in terms of numbers of the victories he's had. We could say title defenses he's had. We could say rounds he's lost. Circumstances surrounding the losses or the wins, doesn't matter. I don't think at this point anybody can question the greatness of Jon Jones. I don't think anybody in mixed martial arts can question just how great Jon is. From when he won the title, the light heavyweight title at 23 years of age, and then he had a dominant run at light heavyweight, literally cleaning out the division. And I'm talking from legends to the more modern day fighters like Dominic Reyes. Jon Jones has fought all of them. He's fought everybody. He's fought Lyoto Machida, Rampage Jackson, Rashad Evans, Shogun Rua, and the list goes on and on. Daniel Cormier. Take it on to the new generation. He's fought Dominic Reyes. I mean, and I'm talking about wars. I'm talking not unexciting fights. Wars. Destroyed, completely destroyed Cyril Gane in his heavyweight debut to become the heavyweight champion. So we don't question whether or not Jon Jones is literally the apex of mixed martial art. Some might say he's the GOAT. There are those who will argue that Georges St. Pierre is the GOAT of mixed martial arts. Others will argue Conor McGregor is the GOAT of mixed martial arts. Yeah, trust me, I know that sounds crazy, though there are people who would argue that Conor is the greatest. Just because of everything he's done for the sport, the crowds and the eyes he's brought to the sport. He's literally transcended the sport and transformed the sport. But as a fighter, yeah, I'm going to go into that detail much later. But there are people that exist that actually think that Conor is the guy. Or some will say it's Khabib Nurmagomedov, 29-0, never lost a round until arguably, I think it was the second round in his fight with Conor, which I think could be won all rounds. That's not me. Some will argue it's Demetrius Johnson. Some will say it's Anderson Silva. Whoever you pick, you can't argue whatever position you have. You can't argue that Jon Jones is in the conversation. And Jon Jones is in the top 2 of the conversation. You can't argue that. Now that makes me wonder, is that what prompts this new, there's a new wave of interviews and promotion that Dana White has been going around doing, indicating that Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. He's also even saying Jon Jones is the pound for pound right now. While I don't argue with Dana, I'm just forced to ask myself, is Dana saying this because he's cutting a promo for the fight between Jon Jones and Stipe? Or is Dana saying this because he truly believes that Jon Jones is the greatest mixed martial artist of all times? And I gotta say, I'm very conflicted. I don't know what the hell Dana is doing. I don't know. I have no idea what he's doing. Dana is one of the greatest fight promoters in the history of fight promotion. It's arguably the greatest fight promoter alive today. So it does make you wonder, like, what exactly is Dana up to? Because my understanding, and again, my casual understanding of this conversation about the greatest of all time, my understanding is that it goes beyond just what you've achieved in the octagon. Because a martial artist is not about just what you do in combat, it's also how you carry yourself outside combat. And we all know that Jon Jones has had a lot of issues. He's had more controversies outside the octagon than he has had inside the octagon. And he's had both. He's had both types of controversies. And if he's had both types of controversies, besides his actual fighting record, why is he in the conversation? For every time an athlete's name is mentioned in any kind of list, any kind of promo, any kind of legacy conversation, and there's a little stain when it comes to PEDs, aka performance enhancing drugs. Every time your name comes up and there's a link to a performance enhancing drug at any point in your career, that immediately questions your status as a GOAT in combat sports. It's an unwritten rule, but it's known. And that's why USADA was a big thing. That's why doping and dope testing is a thing in combat sports, particularly MMA. It's already a deadly sport as it is. Then you go in there with performance enhancing drugs or whatever. And Jon Jones has had not just performance enhancing drugs in his system, he's also had issues with narcotics. You know what I'm saying? He's had issues with narcotics in the past. I hate to say this, he's also had issues with domestic abuse, domestic violence in the past. DA, if you want to call it, domestic assault. And for those of you who don't know, please go and Google it. I don't want to go into all those details. I like to stay focused. When you think about it, all these things, all these stories, all these variables added into the mix, into the cocktail of the conversation, that is Jon Jones the greatest athlete in the world? It makes you question it. It really does. So I'm asking myself, what exactly is the basis that Dana is saying or going around making this promo about Jon Jones being the greatest of all time and the current pound for pound? My man hadn't had a fight in about 3 years. He says he was trying to bulk up to go to heavyweight, gets into heavyweight and completely demolishes Cyril Gane. I get it. But then he's about to face Stipe, and then he has this, shoulder injury. It's unfortunate, but he's healed up from it, had the surgery. And he's training now for the fight to take place. He hasn't had a fight in God knows how long. He hasn't really been active in the last 4 years. It's like one fight in 3.5 or 4 years. And you say that is the person who you want to consider as the pound for pound best. And then there's also the argument that he is the GOAT, but there's the argument about all the things that are wrapped up in his career. Let's think about that for just a little bit. I'll give you an example of a clean athlete. Demetrius Johnson. It's just, to me, unfortunate how Demetrius was a rock star in the ring. I mean, not a rock star in like social media and all that, but Demetrius was so skilled in the octagon when social media and the promos weren't so much a big thing. It really, it's unfortunate. Because the same division that Demetrius held sway over for so long, that's the division that Henry Cejudo, in a way, brought to life. That's the same division we've had with Brandon Moreno, Davison Figueroa, and Pantoja today, who's the current champ. That's a division they almost cut because they thought Demetrius Johnson wasn't bringing eyes to that division. And guys, we know that in the last 4 years, that division has been on fire. It's been hot, flaming hot. These small boys can bang, and they can bang really fast. It really gets me thinking. What's Dana trying to do, Mr. White? But then, I think Dana is trying to He's trying to cut the promo for Jon Jones versus Stipe. And if that's what he's doing, he's not going to tell us. But if that's what he's doing, it's very brilliant. You consistently hammer the messaging into the casual heads consistently, no stop. Every chance you get, keep consistently doing it. I think there's an angle to it. I think the UFC, Jon Jones, and Stipe all know that the announcement for the fight between Stipe and Jon Jones is coming up. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I know it's coming up, definitely. Because it doesn't even make any sense for Dana to just suddenly, he hasn't been having this conversation in a long time. Suddenly, it's in the last couple of weeks. Oh, Jon Jones is the greatest. Jon Jones is the greatest fighter everywhere. Jon Jones. Wow, Jon Jones isn't active. What's happening, Uncle Dana? What are you not telling us? What are you not telling us? There's something going on. Something going on. Because I don't want to say it doesn't make any sense, because it really does make sense. You can argue that Jones is or isn't on that list. I say he is in the conversation, and he's amongst the top 3 in that conversation. But I would also throw Demetrius Johnson in that conversation all day, every day. I will throw Khabib in that conversation all day, every day. I know people are going to question how Khabib won the belt, but listen, he got dealt the hand that was served, and he played that hand very well. He gets the belt, defends it against killers. All 3 guys that Khabib defended the belt against were killers. Make no mistake. Conor is a killer. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care whatever form anybody thinks Conor was in at the time he fought Khabib in UFC 239. Conor has skills, and Conor is a sniper. Khabib just took him to deep waters and drowned him. Dustin Poirier, do we want to question? Is that even a question for anybody to want to question Dustin Poirier's pedigree? The wars, the highlights, the comebacks, the philanthropy outside the ring. Does anybody want to question Dustin Poirier at this point? Khabib made light work of him. What are we talking about? Who's next? Justin Gaethje? The killer that is Justin Gaethje? There's that very popular meme of the last couple of opponents who have faced Justin Gaethje. Yeah, look at their faces. Just look at the level of damage this dude has caused to all these guys. Look how Khabib put him out and then retired. So whatever you want to say, these guys are in the conversation. The fact that Dana isn't even considering any of these people, and I know he has some little issues retrospectively with Demetrius Johnson, keep it aside. I know he loves Khabib very much. If there's one fighter Dana wants to come back to the UFC, even if it's for one fight, I swear to God, I think the UFC will be willing to pay Khabib boxing money just for Khabib to come back for one fight. If Khabib decides ever to come back and fight Conor, yeah, each of those men ain't going. Nobody's living there with at least $20 million. I stand on that. None of those men will leave if they ever decide to do that fight. That's how much Dana likes Khabib, and he knows the popularity of Khabib. But Dana hasn't put Khabib in that conversation. Doesn't even talk about it. It's all Jon Jones. It's the Jon Jones rodeo. It's the Jon Jones show. As far as Uncle Dana is concerned, that's a little suspect. It's pretty suspect, Dana. It's pretty suspect. What are you not telling us? What's out there? What is going on, Mr. Dana White? And can you just kill the suspense, cutting this ass-licking promo of Jon Jones? I'm sick and tired of hearing of it. I want to know what's going on. I want to know when the fight with Stipe is happening. I want to know where it's happening. Because, you know, that's a fight we have to see. And quite frankly, I don't even think I'm interested in seeing Jon Jones fight anybody else at heavyweight. Yeah, I just think Stipe, you should do Stipe. I'm not interested in seeing Jones versus Aspinall. I'm sorry, I'm just not interested in that. I'm not interested in Jones fighting Volkov. I'm not interested in Jones fighting DC. I mean, DC is retired, but I'm not even interested in that. I just think Jones should come fight Stipe just for the legacy of it, and then bounce, vacate the heavyweight division. So if that's the fight I want to see, Jones versus Stipe, just come out and tell us what's going on. I think I'm just tired of all these promos about Jon Jones being the best to ever do it, the best heavyweight. Dana, give us something to hold, brother. Give us something to hold. Sick and tired of it. You know? But I get it. I get the marketing and business aspect of it. And I think it's brilliant. I think it's very brilliant how you're going about it. Even though I think it's sneaky as hell. I think you're trying to cajole us mentally into this whole thing about, you know, Jon Jones being this, the greatest. He is in the conversation. So please, Jon Jones fans, don't come for me. I'm saying Jon Jones is definitely in the conversation, And I ain't even mad if anybody says Jon Jones is the greatest of all time. I'm just not mad. However, I'm wondering what the hell Dana is doing. Because it's just too much. I've seen it everywhere. He's on the Schultz podcast. He's on the damn Club Shay Shay and so many other things. And it's just, God damn it. Press conferences everywhere doing the same thing. Come on, Dana. You know there's more to this. And I'm here for it. We're waiting. We're waiting to see. Hopefully, they should have, who knows, maybe Dana might have an announcement in the next couple of days. Who knows? It's just, slow down already. We get the promo. Because I think it's just promotion. I don't think Dana 100% believes that Jon Jones is the all-round best. And again, my criteria for judging the greatest of all time is not just what you do in the octagon, it's also what you do outside the octagon. It's a combination of both. Do with that information whatever you will. Call me a casual all day. That's exactly what this channel is, you know. I'm gonna give you some really dumbass takes, but there are takes that you would listen to. Because, you know, sometimes that makes some sense. You know? It ain't all dumb. Sometimes I'm making some sense. And I know this argument I'm talking about right now, it's resonating with some people who have the same questions. Because I can't be the only casual out there thinking, yeah, what's going on? What's the play here? What's the angle? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that being said, I would love to, I'd love Dana to just come out and just, you know, just give us the tea. Let's know what's going on. We're eagerly waiting. Jones has been cleared to fight. Stipe has been waiting. They're cleared to train, right? I believe, yeah? What's the holdup? Or are you building anticipation? Because if you build anticipation, you build our curiosity. And our curiosity will make us tune in. I see you, Uncle Dana. I get what you're doing. You little sly fox, you. I get what you're doing. Transition. So recently, on the Club Shay Shay show interview with Dana White a couple of weeks ago, Dana announced that Paige Vanzant would be making her Power Slap debut. Guys, if you don't know who Paige Vanzant is, I understand. For those of you who remember who she is, Paige was probably one of the most, again, my respect to everybody who is able to get in that octagon and put hands on other people while receiving hands from other people. My respect goes out to all these people. But some of them just do not belong in the octagon. Case in point, Michael Jackson was his name, I believe, or Michael Johnson. The guy who fought CM Punk, another person who had absolutely zero business being in the octagon. CM Punk had no business being in the octagon, but he was there, right? Paige Vanzant, to me, is like a lady who didn't need to be in the octagon. She's got some brass balls, I give her that. But she herself admitted that she's making more money and she's more famous outside the octagon. It could be OF, it could be OF. You guys know what I'm talking about. Only F. She makes more money there than she does, you know, fighting, so I understand it. But she recently made her debut at the Power Slap sporting event in Vegas. Pretty much the same weekend, over the last weekend with UFC 303. And I personally didn't think her performance was bad. I didn't even know Paige could eat a slap like that. And she could also give it. Like that girl could slap. That girl could slap for days. I wasn't expecting her to be able to slap, but I thought she did pretty good. But all of a sudden, there's this backlash online, people going after her saying, oh my God, she's this or she's that. She flinches a lot. They should have taken points from her. The whole thing is rigged, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, are you guys just sitting on your couches deciding to just completely obliterate this beautiful young girl for no reason? Or should we give her some kind of commendation? Should we sing her praises as being the first female and, okay, I'm gonna have to check that. I want to say first MMA fighter to do power slap, but no, I'm just gonna stick to first female MMA fighter to do power slap. Isn't that empowering? Isn't that being a pioneer in many ways? And if she's a pioneer in something that a lot of other people have refused to do, doesn't she deserve credit for that? Because I don't know what the problem is. I think she does. I think Paige deserves some credit. I mean, why not? What seems to be the problem? Why is everybody on her tits? Why? Why are you guys on her tits? What did she do? Do you guys expect more from her? I mean, she does have some fairly exciting fights, you know? Some, not much, not many I can remember. I really just remember her being choked up by Michelle Watterson, my baby. Michelle, my baby. Yeah, but I remember her being choked up by Michelle Watterson. Okay, what else? Not much in the ring, but outside the ring, she's done pretty okay for herself. Listen, my personal opinion, I think Paige Vanzant should be commended. She has my respect. First, as an MMA fighter. Second, as a pioneer in this sport. First female MMA fighter to try power slap. And I thought she did pretty good too. I really did. Did I say that girl can slap? Yes, she can. She can really slap. So guys, let's give her flowers. Let's not shit on her. That doesn't even, you know, it's just not cool. It's not cool to shit on her for somebody who's out there trying to do something different, you know? It's commendable. And I suspect more people will follow suit, but just let's remember something. Paige Vanzant was the first person to do it. That's all I'll say about that. And now, last but not least, so post UFC 303, I was watching a clip the other day, and I saw something like a backstage interview where Alex Pereira was explaining how his coaches found a weakness in Jiri's game when they were watching Jiri as he was in the back room practicing before he came out for the fight. They saw a loophole in his game and decided to exploit it, and that's ultimately what cost Jiri the fight. I saw the clip of Jiri training. I saw what Alex saw. And the fact that they took advantage of that, bruh, that was very impressive. But then it goes to show you gotta be careful what you post, man. You have to be careful what you give out. You have to be careful about talking about your strategy. And that's why, for the most part, MMA interviews, for the most part, they sound generic, right? If you see a fighter that's coming before a fight and you ask him, so what's your strategy going into this fight? Yeah, I'm just going to put some pressure on him. He's going to see all the works, blah, 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 blah. It's the same answers over and over again. And I think it's tactical. It's tactical because they say that so they don't give away their game plan to so the opponent doesn't know what to expect. I can't imagine, let's say Ian Gary, for instance. If Ian Gary had come out with his game plan to say, oh, I'm going to take Michael Venom Page to the ground, guess what? MVP would have been ready for that. But Ian kept quiet and MVP was not ready for the ground game, and that's what ultimately lost him the fight against Ian Gary. But that's a good example, you know what I'm saying? I remember also the Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman fight. I think it was the 4th round. Kamaru gave Colby a straight right to the kisser, and it broke Colby's jaw. When Colby went back to his corner and the UFC cameras were on him, he mentioned something, I think I broke my jaw. I think my jaw's broken or something like that.
Though.
Breathe for me, Colby.
But that's totally legal.
I think I broke my jaw. So I hold it.
When Colby said that, guess what? Muhammad Usman, I believe, Kamaru Usman's brother, on the other side of the octagon, he came and he told the team, it's like, his jaw is broken. His jaw is broken. So they knew. Kamaru Usman knew that, oh, so there's a disadvantage in the jaw. I mean, and you guys saw how that happened. 2 knockdowns later. You guys saw everything that happened. So sometimes you got to be really, really careful in how you post these things, because you never know who's listening. You don't know who's watching. Because I personally think if I was fighting and I had a big fight, yeah, you're not going to see any training footage of me. You're not going to see any sparring sessions. You probably see me maybe jogging, maybe weightlifting, or do some kind of exercise, but you will not see my actual sparring footage, because that's just too many things to expose. I don't blame Jiri. I mean, he probably wasn't thinking anybody was watching, but man, there are always eyes. The eyes are always watching, brother. The eyes are always watching. Never, ever, ever make that mistake. And fighters are noticing that in the future, I tell you. Not many people are going to expose their game plan unknowingly. Just tell you that. I suspect that most people who do expose any game plan is some kind of form of misdirection or just absolute stupidity. Whichever it is, I doubt that we'll see a lot of it in the future. So, yeah, that's what we got for today. Is there anything happening in the MMA world that you guys would like to have me share my thoughts on? If there is, feel free in the comment section, send me messages. Let's see, I might share my thoughts on it or not. But I'd like to know if there are enough people saying something or topic is something they would want me to talk about. I'll talk about it. I'd share my opinion on it, and we might come to a consensus, right? All right, guys, I'm out of here. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button. You know the deal. Help us grow the channel. And so far, for those of you who subscribed, if you've been here this long, I really appreciate you. On to the next one till I see you guys again. Peace.